I'm going to break this down even further. This will really show you like some of my thought process into how this technology could play out. There could even be particular roads in a particular area, right? I'll break it down to what the actual thing is. The actual thing is how many times has that vehicle driven on that particular road? Not one particular vehicle, but the entire fleet of vehicles, right? So let's just say, for instance, all the Teslas lived in one area, right? And let's say they've all traveled to one place to work. Maybe that route where, let's say, all the people with Teslas live in that route, they all drive to work, that whole entire route could be 100% autonomous. So you can have cars going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Because that road has the most data, right? It has the most vision data. It has all the data of the car, the steering wheel, right? All these things are data inputs to the vehicle. The encoders in the wheels for GPS, all the different things that Tesla is using to track the vehicle and to process not to process the data, but to collect the data. The more data that can be collected, now the system can be more predictive, can understand what should be there, what shouldn't be there. And a good example of this is to take it into the human mind, right? If you notice, if you ever go to a new city that you've never been in and you have to drive around, it's always really stressful. You're always missing turns. Like, you're just kind of flustered the whole entire time. Why? But it's because you haven't collected enough data. Your mind hasn't inputted enough data to be able to understand your surroundings, right? So say, for instance, I'm here in Saltillo, Mexico, and now I can get pretty much anywhere in Saltillo without GPS, right? But whenever I came here, I couldn't get anywhere without GPS, right? I never knew where I was at. I was always lost. So if I turned off GPS, I basically went in circles for a super long time until I figured out how to get back to where I was going. But I just basically wandered around until I figured it out, right? Now I can turn off GPS. I can take some random roads that I've never been on and still navigate my way to where I'm trying to go with no problem, right? My sense of direction has been built. And so let's say that sense of direction, how is that sense of direction built? It was built by traveling on so many roads, how then certain roads connect with other roads, right? But it's all just input of data. So one thing like a vehicle automatically potentially have within it is the map is downloaded in it. So it always technically knows how to get around an area, right? So how to get around an area is not a problem at all. That's as simple as like GPS data. But then as you're traveling around in that area, you're collecting the vision inputs of the cameras to see, what's normally there, what matches from like the last time I drove through this area, what's changed from the last time I drove in this area, and that can help the system make decisions. And then again, they're collecting data from like the steering wheel turns and all the different things, how people stop and react and things like stoplights, right? So like you can visually see the stoplights, but if you're also tracking where the vehicle's at real time, always via GPS, via encoders on the wheels,